Before proning your patients, ensure there are no contraindications to proning. Have spare ET tubes, suction and emergency medications available in case needed. Tape and lubricate the eyes. Place foam dressings on bony prominences. Complete patient hygiene prior to proning. Disconnect any non-essential lines and infusions. Secure invasive lines in ET tube and have supplies ready: 2 PATRANs, 2 flat sheets and 3 pillows. Ideally, have 5 people, 2 on each side and 1 to guard the airway. We show this technique with 3 people as in some situations this is all you have, and proning can still be safely achieved using the PATRANs with this technique. To insert the PATRANs and sheet under the patient without rolling them, lay 1 PATRAN on the patient's legs. Place the flat sheet on top and place a second PATRAN on top of the sheet, effectively sandwiching the sheet between the two. Line up the leading edges of the PATRANs and sheet, and you are ready to make your folds. Fold the sandwiched sheet 3 times. Each fold should be approximately 12 to 14 inches. Ensure both side edges line up. The cleaner your folds are, the easier it will be to unfold once it is underneath your patient. Next, turn the folded sandwich over and place under the catheter tube and the patient's feet so that the free ends are on top. Slide the hand that is closest to the patient under the PATRANs, grasping all thicknesses of the fold at the distal end. Unfold towards the patient's head. Ensure both sides of the PATRAN are under the chucks, and repeat the unfolding 2 more times, readjusting your hand and body position towards the patient's shoulders as you proceed. With intubated patients, it is often easier to unfold from the feet to the head rather than the traditional head to feet technique. The sheet is now under your patient. Remove the top PATRAN, keeping it close by, and leave the bottom one underneath the sheet to help slide your patient. Move the drains below the patient's waist to their feet and those above the waist towards their head. Cross the opposite foot on top of the foot you're rolling towards and tuck the patient's hand under their buttocks on the side you are rolling to, palm up. Pillows go across the patient's chest, hips and knees, and place a second flat sheet across the pillows. Gather the upper and lower sheet edges, rolling up tightly as you can, like a burrito, taking care to protect invasive lines. The person managing the airway counts to 3, and on 3 slide the patient away from the side they are going to turn towards. While one caregiver supports the patient at the edge of the bed, the other tucks the second PATRAN under the patient to prepare for the turn. The caregiver on the receiving side tucks the rolled edges under as the patient turns. The caregiver on the turning side holds the rolled sheet that was tucked under, and the person bends their knees and turns the patient using momentum from their legs, not their arms. The caregiver squats and comes up, providing the momentum. Ideally, there would be 2 people on each side to further reduce force through the shoulders. The PATRANs make it easy to slide the patient to the center of the bed. Readjust position as necessary. The patient is now prone. Adjust pillows and reattach lines and monitors while the PATRANs are still under the patient. Uncross their feet, ensuring that they are not laying on the catheter tubing. And lastly, remove both PATRANs, recheck all lines, tubes and drains, and keep the PATRANs and extra sheet close by for returning to supine. You have now completed the proning process.